You know that feeling when you want to learn something new, but it just feels like you're getting blasted with information? That's exactly what it feels like whenever I want to develop a new skill or learn something that's completely new to me. But with AI and a little creative problem solving, everything started to click for me. And honestly, it's completely changed the way that I approach learning. A recent example of this came from my interest in real estate investing. I've always wanted to get into it, and it seemed like a smart and lucrative way to bring in extra income. But if you've done any digging or research into the real estate market, it feels like you need a PhD to even get started in it. With all of the different terms and legalities and information that's out there, I honestly didn't even know where to begin. But then it hit me. What if I used Gemini and NotebookLM in a way that I hadn't done before? And if it works, this would not only apply to real estate investing, but any topic that I wanted to learn more about. So Google recently pushed out a pile of major updates to Gemini to close out 2024. And one of those being their new deep research model. And essentially how this works is you provide Gemini with a topic, and then it creates an entire research plan and then begins writing the content for you. And we're not just talking about citing a couple resources in this research paper. Depending on your topic, Gemini will look at hundreds of different sites and resources to help develop the research paper that it's writing. This is way beyond anything that I've seen any of the other AI chatbots do to this point, and it is insanely impressive. Then on the NotebookLM side of things, it can take all of that information and gather it into one centralized hub. And with all that information in one place, all you have to do is ask NotebookLM questions about your topic, and it's going to scan through all of the Gemini researched content that's created to provide you with an answer. Now, what makes this approach so powerful is it allows you to use the concept of just-in-time learning. Essentially, this means instead of trying to learn everything all at once and then forgetting half of it when you go to actually use the information, you take in information as you need it. For example, let's say you're wanting to create a new website to share all of the cool things that you're learning on this channel. Rather than needing to understand domain names and hosting and how to set up the blog on your website, you just turn to NotebookLM and say, what is the first thing I need to do to get my website started? And you can either have NotebookLM feed you this information step by step, or you could even have it create a checklist for you that helps you get your website up and running. And this is going to be based on information that Gemini already did some crazy deep research for you on. However, if you just dive straight in and ask Gemini to do deep research on an entire topic for you, you'll get a lot of high-level information that covers that entire topic, but probably nothing that will be as useful to you other than having high-level information. If you want the most valuable and detailed information at your fingertips, we have to take it a step further. So in my real estate investing example, I divided that topic into smaller manageable topics. Things like finding the right market, analyzing properties, and then financing options. Then for each category, I fed a detailed prompt to Gemini. I said, I'm going to be getting into real estate investing primarily through purchasing, improving, and reselling for profit, but I have no experience in it so far. Help me determine what the best markets in the US would be to start this venture. In addition to helping me find the best markets to start in, provide me with information for making informed decisions when looking at a market to determine if it's a good fit. What factors to look at, resources to help me determine the best markets, calculators, etc. So then Gemini takes your prompt and then provides step by step how it's going to research and actually create this research paper for you. In this case, I've already had Gemini do the research, so I don't have these options here. But then you click Start Research, and guys, the amount of detail that goes into this is absolutely insane. Check this out. So first it gives me kind of like a high-level overview of the fix and flip strategy, and then it gives me information about how to identify the best markets for doing this kind of thing. It even breaks it down into charts and graphs that you can then export into Google Sheets if you want. And through its research, it actually found the top 12 cities for real estate investing in 2024 and gave me a list of those states. Then because Gemini has been learning about me and my location, it actually went through and found information based on where I'm located to tell me if the market conditions were right for doing this kind of thing. Then it provides me with more resources, case studies, and in this case it researched 39 different websites with sources to all of those websites to put together this paper. So then what I did is I opened this in Google Docs, I exported this information from Gemini to my Google Drive in Docs, and then I set this as a source in NotebookLM. So I essentially did this with each of the subtopics that I came up with for real estate investing and things that I wanted to make sure that I had detailed information on. And that's what all of these sources on the side here are. But now let me show you why this is actually helpful to have the information here versus just having it in Google Drive or in Gemini. So now as I was just scrolling through the information that deep research provided for me, I picked up on one of these key terms that popped out, and it was ARV. I honestly have no idea what that means. So let's just ask, what is ARV and why is it important for me to consider when investing in real estate? And click send. And check this out. NotebookLM went through all of these sources to find what ARV means, or as we now know, after repair value, and actually provided all of this information on what ARV actually is. And it even includes sources. So in this case, it's pulling this information from source 1, and you can click on it and see where it's actually talking about that information. Or maybe we want to go to source 3 and see, okay, here's another location where ARV is being discussed. But what makes NotebookLM unique is that it's only trained on the sources that you provided. It's not going to find some obscure website out on the web and reference that information in this at all. If it's not in a source, it'll come back and tell you that it can't find that information. It's not in the sources provided. So with NotebookLM, you are quite literally curating your own AI chatbot on any topic that you choose. Now, as I'm having conversations with NotebookLM, if I leave and then come back to this, my chat is going to disappear. So now any information that NotebookLM provides to me, if I don't save this, I'm going to have to re-ask the question in order to get the information back, which isn't a huge deal. But for something like this, where maybe ARV is something that I either want to revisit again or I want to make sure that I always have at my fingertips, I can actually save this as a note, and now it's automatically saved on the side here with the response that NotebookLM gave for me. So now I'll always have this information ready to go right on the side there. Or if there's any other questions that I have about the topic or I want it to go in a little bit more depth, I can just come right into the chat and continue having a conversation with it, just like you would ChatGPT or Gemini. This is the exact kind of thing that I'm so excited for with AI. It's not just about having AI do things for you and taking the creative processes out of what you're doing. We can use these tools to better ourselves and learn new topics and make the learning process smarter and faster. So whether you're interested in real estate investing like I am, or maybe it's coding, or maybe even ancient history, you can use Gemini and NotebookLM to become your ultimate learning companion. So try these tools out for yourself and let me know in the comments what topic you're going to tackle using this strategy. And if you're curious about more AI-powered strategies and tips, click this button right here to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for sticking through and watching this, and I'll catch you in the next one.